Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sibylla Muti, and it is officially 2021. Yes! I can never get enough of saying happy New Year to you, great girlfriends. And what a whole privilege it is to be on the other side of 2020. My goodness, when we talk about the year of all years, that has to be the one that we never want to see repeated. There were some remarkable lows. I mean, things that we could have never imagined. A whole pandemic that we weathered. There was all of the racial injustice that really surfaced in 2020. There were the political injustices that were happening in our own election. You know, there was a lot of deaths, hundreds of thousands of deaths in our country alone. Lots of sickness, lots of mental health, illnesses, issues. You know, our families were home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for months at a time. There was a stay-at-home order. And guess what, great girlfriend? You made it through all of that. All of it. I mean, all of it. And let me tell you why that's major. A lot of you might be thinking, well, yeah, I made it through, but barely. Well, there were a lot of people that opted out. I mean, the suicide numbers were so alarming last year. There were a lot of people that simply could not see their way out. So I want to celebrate each one of you specifically and say thank you for not giving up on yourself and making sure that you would experience the end of that thing and the beginning of something fresh and new. So I love what the new year brings, because there's that whole spirit of newness. The new, all the energy, all the fresh perspective, all the things that I am going to do, all the things I will not do anymore. You know, all of the resolutions that come forth, buying a new planner, turning over closets, really just changing and transforming with the hope of entering and welcoming the new year with high expectation. And so I know a lot of people were truly apprehensive about doing that for 2021. People were like, wait, I did that for 2020? And it didn't feel right. It didn't turn out nothing like what I had on my vision board. My planner just went upside down. I couldn't predict the day against the night. Things were so different. But I want to remind you to never give up hope and expectation. In fact, the one thing that we're all hanging on to, or that we all entered this new year with, was the hope that things would be different, that things would be better, that things will be greater. And that hope is what allows us to put our best foot forward every single time. The hope is what allows hundreds of thousands of people to jump on their Peloton bikes and rally around community and work out and get fit and build a routine for their wellness. Hope is what allows us to maintain our friendships and say I love you to people with the hope that it will warm their heart. Hope is what allows us to go to work every single day with the hope that what we're doing will contribute to something greater and bigger than ourselves. Hope is what allows us to be strong parents and show up for our kids and believe that what we plant into our kids will one day reap a harvest that they can live off of. Hope is what allows us to plant love and passion into our marriages, minute by minute, day by day, with the hope that these relationships will always have that value, will always have a passionate place for us to reside and abide. That hope is the bigger picture that we all have to lean into. And I know how hard it is to cling to hope. But here is the thing that I'm telling every single great girlfriend, including you. I've said it to myself 1,000 times. In fact, I'm saying it in the Ready, Set, Go challenge that's taking place right now. You have got to have hope. And with that hope, it allows you to show up for yourself like you've never done before. I pray to God that the lessons that you received in 2020 showed you the bigger, badder, brighter, more beautiful, more vibrant, more audacious side of yourself. I hope that you learned through all the things that you weathered, and you know your list. I don't know your list. I only know my long list, great girlfriends. But you know your list. I hope that you, being on the other side of so much of that and weathering and persevering through so many harsh realities of 2020, I hope it showed you the giant that you truly are on the inside. And with that knowledge of your giantness, because that is a new word that I'm using, your giantness. Somebody's going to email me like, giantness is not a word. Yes, great girlfriend, I know giantness is not a word in the Webster dictionary. However, It is a word in the Great Girlfriend Dictionary, and we are using it today. Your giantness. I hope that giantness allows you the permission that you need to show up for yourself in a major way, like looking crazy, audacious, bold, you can't stop me now kind of energy. That kind of energy, because that is what you're going to need to continue to be the light that you need to see in the dark times, and also be the light that you want to be in this world. There's so much darkness, great girlfriends, but I guarantee you, even if you flicker a small flame, the light that you bring to the table is transformative. Your life is transformative. Your dreams are transformative. Your breath, your hope is transformative. Your expectations, transformative. Your hugs, your tenderness, all of those things are transformative. The way you show up in the boardroom, bad to the bone, is transformative. The boundaries that you set with your past and with people who try to overstep you, those things are transformative. So when you show up for yourself, not only are you lighting a flame of hope for yourself, but you're doing it for other people. Millions of lives that you have yet to touch, because the work that you do now lives on forever, great girlfriends. The work that you do on yourself, the work that you do in your mind, your body, your spirit, right? The work that you do in your career, in your marriage, with your children, with your neighbors, your community, all of the activism, the work that you do, it lives well beyond your years. The evidence of that is the legacy that you will leave behind one day. And people will speak of you and they will say, that woman gave hope when I needed it. That woman was this when I needed it. Generations of people will know your name and will come to say thank you, because they were rewarded by the experience of knowing and experiencing your hope, the giantness on the inside of you. So for 2021, I'm urging you, I'm begging you, I'm on my knees right now. I'm in the most padded room in my home. I'm in my closet. It is padded with all kind of sweaters and really, really beautiful things that I'm crowded around. But I'm in this beautiful element, so I can give you this beautiful message that you've got to show up for yourself in 2021. You know, one of the things, the dangerous things that we do as women, and I've said this on many, many podcasts, and I will scream this from the rooftop, is we do too much for other people. We do more for other people than we do for ourselves. The consequence to that is that when it comes time for us to do for ourselves, we feel depleted and we don't feel supported and we don't feel anchored. We don't feel like we have the resources because we've given out so much. So when we're looking inward, we're like, what's in there? What's left? We feel hollow. There's a great consequence to giving so much of your life to other people that you don't have any life to live for yourself. So the passion that you're hearing from me today and the sense of urgency that you're hearing from me today is only because as a leader of the Great Girlfriend community, I get the DMs, I get the emails, I get the phone calls, I get all the messages of women saying, how can I do this when I've got this, and this going on? And I say, how can you not? How can you not reward yourself by showing up for yourself, by being the first one to say yes to you, by being the first one to choose you, being the first one to be kind and patient and loving to you, being the first one to set up an infrastructure for your success. All those things. How can you not do that? How can everyone else get that good knowledge and you leave your stuff on the table? So this is the year that you no longer do that. This is the year that you decide to do it differently, that you wake up and realize that your portion is first. And we talked last year in December on a few episodes about learning how to know when to move forward, 3 conversations you should be having in the AM, how to set and establish your day. But I want to talk to you today about how to show up for yourself, how to choose something and believe and stand for it like no one else does. Listen, I know that the ideas are swarming in your head. I know you've got a lot of different roads you can take. But for you to show up for yourself, you've got to choose something and go for it. You have to go for it. You have to abandon the idea that your fear is greater than your faith. You have to demystify that big thing that you want to do and break it down into something that feels really, really good for you to go for. I'm not going to tell you you're not going to be afraid. I'm not going to tell you you're not going to want to quit. I'm going to tell you to keep going for it. I once had a conversation with my husband, Kwaku, And this just really touched my soul. He said, if you want to stop starting over, stop quitting. Isn't that the truth? Stop quitting. Choose something and go for it and stick with 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 it. I'm telling you to stick with the vision, not stick with the process. I'm telling you to be open to the idea that the process will change, but the vision can remain the same, that you can actually manifest that vision. I'm telling you right now to trust yourself. I'm telling you to trust yourself like you've never done before. Yes, you've made mistakes. Yes, you dropped the ball before. Yes, you failed before. Yes, because you're a human, and that's what humans do. We make mistakes, big ones, small ones, medium size, all size mistakes. We fail, we get embarrassed, we get rejected, we get abandoned, but we get up. Get up, trust yourself again. Imagine that this time is the time that you will commit to yourself like you've never done before, because the lessons you learned in 2020 were so invaluable to you that you will never, ever, ever see yourself as a small person ever again. You'll always realize the giant that you truly are, and you will stand up for that giant, and you will allow that nature to rise up on the inside of you, and you'll go beast mode on something, the thing that you believe is necessary, the thing that you choose and decide to go for. I'm going to tell you in 2021, 2020 already reminded you, but 2021, let it be the confirmation that this year you live outside of your comfort zone. Let all your expectation, all your hope, all your energy, all your desire be curious desire, curious energy, curious hope that allows you to experience new opportunities and embrace new doors, new lessons, new levels. Because that is what 2021 will offer us. Life outside the comfort zone. And I know we've gotten accustomed to some of the things that have taken place during the pandemic, but there are new shifts coming. And in those new shifts, we're going to need to be flexible, be agile, remain innovative in all of our approaches to doing everything, because everything is subject to change. So when you trust yourself, you allow yourself to move outside that comfort zone with curious hope, knowing that you know enough to go outside the comfort zone and still thrive. You will still thrive outside of your comfort zone. I'm also asking you, in addition to trusting yourself, in addition to living outside the comfort zone, I'm asking you to invest the time and the money into being your best self. I'm asking you to take a look on the inside. See what's been lacking. See where your expectations have been low. See what you've been missing for way too long. See where the deficiencies are. Be honest about the deficiencies. Locate the places where you are extremely passionate and joyful, and the places that you absolutely can't stand to be there. It almost feels like a hate. Or maybe it is a hate. Acknowledge these things. Get honest. I'm going to ask you, go see a therapist. Invest a little bit of time and money into seeing a therapist. If all is well, cool, you're good. It's just a wellness checkup. But if you need to have deeper conversations, give yourself permission to go and lay yourself at the feet of someone who can help you refuel and reignite the fire within. If you need to get up and get fit, get up and get fit. We did so many episodes last year on wellness. We talked so much about breast exams. We talked about high cholesterol. We talked about healthy hearts. We talked about all these things that are happening in the body. And every single doctor that I spoke with in 2020 pointed back to our food and our fitness. Being active at least 30 minutes a day. Eating leafy greens. Having respect for sleep. Getting rest. 3 basics that we need to invest our time and attention toward to ensure that we're always on top, great girlfriends. So I'm asking you to invest the time and the money. You love yourself enough. You're going to show up for yourself enough. You're going to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself before you go buy that expensive bag, before you go buy that expensive class. And yes, you want to build your business, but you need to make sure the woman that's running the business is equipped mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally to weather whatever may come her way with grace and grit. You need both. All right. So if you're going to choose that thing and go for it, you're going to trust in yourself. You're going to live outside the comfort zone. You're going to invest the time and the money. You're going to partner with purpose. Girl, you don't need to do all that work by yourself. There is someone waiting to partner with you. There's someone who wants to help support and anchor your vision. There's someone who wants to be the co-lead on this big picture that you've got going on. There's someone who wants to help supplement your supply. Partner with purpose. Be clear on the partnerships that are essential, and be clear on the partnerships that will never bear the fruit that they need to bear for them to be worth your time and your money and your energy and your intention. And that includes romantic relationships. Get rid of that dude. If he's not showing up for you, get rid of him. He had all of 2020 to show up. If he couldn't make it through a pandemic, baby, let me tell you something. He ain't it. He ain't it. Okay? He ain't it. He ain't it. Okay, I think you get the message there. He ain't it. He ain't it. All right. But I'm telling you that in love, great girlfriend, because I really, really want you to know and understand that you're so worth people who will make the decision to choose you. They're only going to choose you, though, when you choose you. When you show up for you, everyone else will rise up with their good intentions or their clear intentions. And you then get to make the choice about how much access they have to the amazing, dynamic, giant woman that you are. And that will determine how much of the wealth you experience out of the time that you have with this life. Because remember, we only get one of these. We only get one of these. And this time that you have is so valuable. Every single day, every single moment, every minute is valuable to you. It is an investment for you. And one day you'll reap the return on the investments that you make right now. So with those relationships, you want to be intentional about those partnerships. Intentional. And those are friendships. Those are business relationships. Those are mentors. Those are allies. Those are sponsors. Those are romantic relationships. You know the relationship. Neighbors. All of that. All the people that you're doing life with, with whom you relate. You have a choice in the matter. You have a choice how much access they have to the woman that you're showing up for in 2021. Now, you don't fully know or see her, right? Because we're at the start of this thing. So things are still becoming and evolving. We're still walking into this new day. But don't you want to walk into it knowing that you put your best foot forward? Put your best foot forward. So I'm going to ask you this last final thing. When you choose something and you go for it, whatever your something is, you've trusted yourself, you're living outside the comfort zone, you're investing the time and the money, you're partnering with purpose. This last one I'm going to tell you, girl, do not overthink a thing in 2021. Overthinking, I'm telling you, it is the secret killer. It's a murderer. It is killing away at your money. It's killing away at your time. It's killing away at your business endeavors. It's killing away at your partnerships. It's killing all the possibility. Why? Because when you overthink something, you pretty much have critically destroyed it piece by piece as you dissect all the reasons why something can or cannot work. And anytime you place a microscopic lens on something, good or bad, you miss the larger view. So you never want to be the person who so overthinks everything, gets so critical that you miss the bigger picture, which was you choosing something and going for it and exploring with curiosity, putting your hope and expectation into something bigger than you, investing in the woman that you are, showing up for yourself. You never want to be so critical that you miss that big, big picture and that you miss that you're the secret sauce anyway. So even if there is a few things you need to work on, get out there, do what you got to do, stop overthinking, send the email, ask the question. You want to be mentored? Ask the person to mentor you. You want to pitch to a company? Reach out. Write the deck. Write the one sheet. Send them a LinkedIn message. Put something on paper. Try it. Invest in it. Because let me tell you something. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You miss them all. You miss them all. 100% of the shots that you don't take, you miss. So I at least want to get caught out there shooting and hoping and believing and dreaming and imagining and preparing and growing something that feels valuable and it feels worth my time. I want to choose me. I want to choose something and go for it. And I want you to do the same. So that is my super purposeful podcast pep rally to prepare you with purpose to choose yourself, to show up for yourself in 2021. This week, I have the privilege of running over 100 women through our Ready, Set, Go challenge. And it has already been, it's day 2, it's already been amazing, super transformative. I want to shout out every single woman who has decided to join the challenge and showing up for herself. Those courses will also be available for you to purchase after the challenge has ended. But I just want to remind you that you're going to have to stimulate the change that you want to see, even in your own life and especially in the world around you. And, when we do that, we get to experience the reward of knowing that we made the investment. We chose something and we're going for it. So I love you, great girlfriends. Have a beautiful week. I cannot wait to receive your iTunes reviews. Thank you so much for all of your emails and blessings for me last year as I went through, again, the most transformative year that I've had in a long time with the loss of my dad and even the depression that tried to really sink in last year. So many things went low, but I made it through by the grace of God and by doing the necessary work, putting thousands upon thousands of dollars into my wellness, and I am a better woman because of it. All right. Love you much, great girlfriends. Have a great week.
Great girlfriends, did you enjoy this week's episode of the podcast? If so, would you please give us your amazing review on iTunes? Every single review helps another great girlfriend get plugged into the podcast, into the community. Speaking of community, make sure you join our Facebook group, The Great Girlfriends. You follow us on Instagram at The Great Girlfriends and on Twitter at @the_great_GFS. Last but not least, we'd like to thank my amazing husband, Kwaku, Sam and Dilly, and all of you for being a part of the global community that makes us so strong. Please remember to share with your friends, keep listening, and keep being a great girlfriend. I'm Sybil Amuti, and I'm out. Peace.